Right, storyish time. So, for my local armory, I have been stuck on Marlin. I've been meaning to play Puffin. I really wanted to play Puffin. I had a lot of fun with Max, so I wanted to really try Puffin. But I think I've ended up playing more Gravy than Puffin. But that aside, I've been playing Marlin every single week, a different deck every week, which is fantastic. But obviously, Death Dealer is gone, and I think that's quite the hefty blow to aggro Marlin. But this was the deck that I was going to take to the armory, right? And the concept was interesting. We'll go with interesting, right? So it's completely reliant on Goldfin Harpoons. So there's no other harpoons in the deck, and the whole gist of it is we can pump it a little, we can give it overpower, and we can try and land that hit to recycle the gold to get another harpoon for the next turn, right? So I think generally it's about a 10 overpower consistently. So to me, that feels like it might get across. Obviously, overpowers not as great as Dominate. If it was Dominate, I'd definitely run it. But yeah, so that was the concept. But I had a thought, right? Right as I was about to leave and in the car, how many buffs are there? Because if there's enough, ooh, what could we do? So yeah, count them out in my head, and then I scrambled together to make a deck that probably wasn't completely optimized. I think I've tweaked it enough that I'm a lot more happy with it. But yeah, can you see what's going on, right? I'm missing 3, but you basically just slot in a defense react depending on the matchup. So yeah, the gist of this deck. Well, you know what? I think I can have a better time showing you. So the only equipment that has any validity is Crown, Gold Bait Hook, and the Red Spine Manta. All the other stuff is basically for defensive purposes, right? So yeah, let's play a couple turns of this and just we'll see how it feels, right? So again, equipment, we'll just take whatever's most tanky, so the Sea Lace. And then, well, it's the bot, so I'll just take the sinks, right? That's our 60 cards, right? Can you guess the concept? Now, we drew the only arrow that I find worthwhile, right? So dry powder shot. When it's put face up into your arsenal, it gets +2 this turn, meaning it is 5, right? So 0/5. So the concept of this deck is nice and simple. We normally go Marlin, Red Spine Manta, load the Goldfin Harpoon, Gold Baited Hook, pump it, and shoot it, right? But since we do have the dry powdered shot, again, the value works out the same because the Goldfin Harpoon is 2 value, right? Attacks for 2. So the dry powder shot is therefore worth the Goldfin Harpoon plus the buff slot it would take up. So the only nice thing about that is obviously we don't have to Gold Bait Hook. And this deck has a very, very obvious glaring weakness, and that is if we lose the hook, we're screwed, right? So yeah, having an alternative way to try and get over our opponent's equipment and hand, I think is definitely necessary, right? So the concept here would be load the dry powder shot, and then again, we just buff, and we're able to shoot a nice 14. And the whole thing about this is it is a 14 every single turn at the bare minimum, right? So we have Nimbleism, we have Minnowism, and then we have all the arrow stuff, chart of course, right? That's another +3 to your first attack. It's just all the +3s. It doesn't block well, but as long as we can just, nuke our opponent every single turn, right? We hit for 14, we get the gold. Codex, I love Codex in this. It's so beautiful. It's a little bit awkward with gold tip, but I think I'd rather the Codex value. So Codex, you go 1, right? Bottom, doesn't really matter. Well, actually, I would have liked the Nimbleism. I'll probably hit something bad now, right? So Codex is the last card in hand. I finally found a use for Inertia. You play Inertia, you get your Ponder, you get your Pump. Your opponent loses a card from hand, which is fantastic. They top deck, so chances are it's not going to be a defense react either, right? And then we can go Fire in Your Hole, and then go Marlin, Red Spine Manta, Gold Baited Hook, and shoot. So another 14. And then we get the Ponder, and the Ponder allows us to then go up to 17, although we hit Searing Shot. Again, 5 stat value, right? Although I can cycle it with the Sink, which is definitely nice, right? A little bit of block value. So cycle the Searing, Gold Tip, that'll do, right? And then we just go Minnowism, Premeditate, drop the Anchor. Since we have Gold Tip, we want to load the Harpoon first so that we get the Gold Proc, right? It saves our Gold Baited Hook a turn. Gold Baited Hook, and then Fire. Yeah, just straight 14s. Every now and then, maybe a 17. Yeah. It is by far the most brain dead deck I have made, but I think it encapsulates everything I enjoy about the game. Now, what was pointed out to me was, obviously, again, you get fatigued out immensely, right, in Class Constructed. I can whittle, every game I did whittle my opponent down a fair amount, right? So there were just a few more pumps, maybe. But what was pointed out to me was how well this could be a blitz deck, right? Now, again, it still falls a little bit short because you have to just tempo them down immensely, right? So I think you want to go second, block out, and then just shoot. But again, if they have a decent amount of equipment, right, then even at 14, you're not quite getting there. But yeah, for blitz, nice and simple. Pretty much the same thing, right? So just 2 of everything. Again, searing shot, 5, essentially, because of the 1 life. Dry powder shot, 5, again, equivalent to the golden harpoon. Otherwise, then just pump, 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 and pump, right? Yeah. Oh, God. Only sad part is you can't take so many D-reacts, right, to slot in. Would be nice, a little bit more flexibility. That all you got, fantastic, because, it gets your pump back if it defends correctly. Tarpet can definitely help. Other than that, Loan Shark and Gold the Tip are the only ways to get gold, right? So you do get a little bit of safety. Loan Shark is nice in the sense that if you're fine taking the other 2 life, right, it essentially buys a turn of the gold-baited hook because, yeah, again, if we run out of gold, if we lose the gold-baited hook, it all falls apart. But until then, just shoot your shot. 14, 14, 14, 14. Oh, fun, fun, fun. I think this is another one of the cases where I've made something, semi-competent, and if someone goes over it with a fine comb, they could probably make it work wonders. Anyway, it'll be in the description. Hope you enjoyed. See ya.